In Avatar The Last Airbender, Azula and Ozai's relationship at the start appears to be one of loyalty. Azula wants to please her father, and she does this by trying to capture Aang and just being a menace in Book 2 and 3. But in the grand scheme of things, Ozai was always just using Azula to get whatever he wanted. Ever since she was a child, he manipulated her to always be the best no matter what. Failure was never an option. And this just added to Azula's eventual downfall into insanity and just how one thing could make her lose it. And I found a comic where this kind of thing is at the focal point. So it's a comic on Instagram by an account called Vago_XD, so all credit goes to them. And the comic in their Instagram will be linked at the top of the description if you want to check it out. So the comic starts out with Azula bowing before Ozai, letting him know that the Avatar escaped. She says that he knew they were coming and doesn't know how he got the information, but basically implies that it won't happen again. Azula tells Ozai that she studied their next moves and that her, Mai, and Ty Lee will leave as soon as possible to catch Aang, but Ozai isn't having any of that and he tells her that he's removed her from the task. And Azula gets pissed off, basically being like, what the fuck, saying that she served him as best as she could and has already come up with the perfect plan. But Ozai gets angry and yells at her, saying that she's failed to capture the Avatar 3 times and has only been lenient so far because she's the princess, and he tells her to accept his mercy and to return home. Azula gets even more angry, basically telling Ozai that Ba Sing Se is under Fire Nation control because of her, and she goes on saying that she's the future Fire Lord and is the one who will end the Avatar. And Ozai tells her enough with this, but I mean, if you think about it, Azula is kinda right. But Ozai creates two flames, telling his daughter he expected this kind of behavior from Zuko but not from her, but that he was too permissive. And Ozai continues telling Azula that it's time she learned an important lesson about respect, and instead of pulling out the belt, bro just pulls out straight fire. The next panel shows Ozai burning Azula's face and her screaming out in pain. The Fire Lord laughs evilly, standing over Azula while she cries in terror, mocking her, asking if she's supposed to be a fire-bending prodigy. And he lays into her even more and calls her pathetic, just like her brother. But Azula wakes up screaming and it turns out it was all just a nightmare. If the dream were to actually happen, that would be like her worst fears come true, and you can see the look of terror on her face from the dream. But Zuko bursts open the door asking Azula what happened and that he heard her screaming and asks if she's alright, but I guess Azula, who got dressed quick as fuck, just shoves him out the way, basically telling her brother he's pathetic and to get dressed and they can't waste any more time. And the comic ends with Azula telling Zuko that the Avatar must be found as soon as possible. Yeah, that dream for sure had her spooked, but it's definitely a comic that shows Azula's true fear and how she doesn't want to end up like Zuko, and overall all of this just combined together to show her eventual downfall in Book 3. But if you liked the video, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more from me, go check out my other channels and go follow me at TikTok, which will all be linked down below. Stick around if you like Avatar content, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.